Hi, team. Well, I just really wanted to talk to you all about something that I learned, like a tangible thing that I learned at the leadership retreat that we were just at. And as soon as I heard it, I thought I need to get home and tell everybody about this because you can start doing this right away, and I really think it can make a huge impact on your business. So, it is actually a script on how to book parties. I think a lot of people get intimidated on how to do that, and they feel a little awkward about how to broach the subject. And so I think if you have a way that's easy and simple and repeatable that you can do it, I think it can really take the stress out of that, or the anxiety out of doing that. So this is it's very, very simple, very quick, but here are some of the key points to it. So there's 6 things in this script that you have to do. The first thing is that you're going to tell them why, and this is over the phone, actually speaking to someone, not sending a text or a Facebook message, but talking to them. First thing is you need to tell them why you're calling from the very beginning. No chit chat or small talk. We're going to tell them right away why we're calling. Number 2 is that you're sharing with them what you're doing now. So you've started a business with It Works. Number 3 is that you need to explain why you're doing this. And that's going to come down to a personal reason for you why you're doing this. And that's going to be different for everyone. Number 4 is explain what you need. And I'll get to that. And number 5 is let them know how they can help you. And number 6, suggest a date. Now there are certain words that so you can kind of make this script your own. Don't feel like it needs to be word for word what I'm going to tell you. This is an example. But there are certain words that you need to have included in your script. The first one is nervous. You have to say that. The second one is excited. The third one is help. The next one is favor, one time, and free stuff. Okay, so those are the things that you absolutely have to say. Nervous, excited, help, favor, one time, and free stuff. So I'm going to give you an example of a script. Of course, you want this to be natural. You want it to sound like you. You want it to sound like it would be something that would come out of your mouth. So change it as you need to. This is an idea of how it can sound, but make sure those certain words are in there and that you're covering those 6 points that I told you about. So here's an example. Hi, Nancy. This is Amy. The reason I'm calling you is, as you may know, I've recently started a business with It Works Global, and I'm a little nervous about it, but at the same time, I'm really, really excited because, and this is where your why comes in, because I've always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom with my kids, or we've really been looking for an extra income that we really needed, or whatever your why is, insert right there. That's why you're excited. So I've had a lot of fun sharing these amazing, healthy skincare and wellness products and the great opportunity with a lot of people. But what I'm needing is to meet new people and expand my business a bit. And I was hoping you can help me out by getting a handful of your friends together. If you'd be willing to do me a favor just this one time, I'll make sure that you get free stuff and your friends have a blast. And usually most people are going to be like, oh yeah, of course I'll help you. And so you can pull out your calendar and say, well, great, I've got next Tuesday at 7 o'clock open. Would that work for you? And then just go from there. So here's some keys to this that are really, really important. Be yourself. Like I said, make this your own. Smile as you talk because people can hear a smile. They can hear it in your voice. Here's another big one. You need to designate a time that you're going to do this and be dedicated to that. No one is going to treat this like a business if you don't treat it like a business. So treat it like a business. Set a time if you want it to be an hour long. And I wouldn't do a whole lot longer than that because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. Do it for an hour, like 7 to 8 p.m. on Monday night. That means you actually start calling. Pick up the phone at 7 o'clock. And when you get done with one call, you make the next call and you keep going until 8 o'clock. If you get all yeses, if you get all nos, it doesn't matter. You keep going because this is a business and it's about consistency and you are planting seeds and you will get to reap that harvest. Have your calendar. Have your calendar with you when you're calling, so that when you get to that last step, when you're offering them a time, you can flip to that. If they're not available on Tuesday, then you want to tell them another time, you can flip right to that day. You don't want to have it be unprofessional and be like, oh, well, let me check if I have that day open. Have your calendar right there. Keep it professional and get it on the books that night. Don't have small talk before you get to the script. When you get to the real reason, they actually will feel offended, and they'll feel like your small talk was insincere, and that you're really just calling in to use them. So if you get straight to the point as soon as you get on the phone, even if it's someone you haven't talked to in a long time, you can say, oh, gosh, it's so great to hear your voice. I would really love to catch up, and I would love to do that another time. But right now, let me tell you why I'm calling, and get right to it. That way it makes you more sincere. You're being honest about why you're calling, and they will respect that instead of feel offended by it. Only book for this month, no farther out than about 6 weeks or so. If they can do it like after 6 weeks, then just set an appointment to call them, in a few weeks to set that appointment up. You don't want to book yourself out too far, and you don't want them to book it out too far. So you can always call back in a few weeks to go ahead and schedule their party. Don't put the date in their hands. This is a big one. Don't just say, oh, whatever works for you. That never works. You need to actually give them best case scenario, you give them a choice. Well, I've got this Tuesday at 7 o'clock, or I can do Saturday at 3. Which one works better for you? And most people will choose one or the other. So don't put it in their hands. You suggest a date that works for you. And then the last point is, if they want to check with their friends first, like you tell them this whole thing and they're like, yes, I really want to help you, but let me talk to my friends and see what day would be good, and then I'll get back to you. Don't let them do that. Then that means you're putting it back in their hands, and you're out of control then. So don't let them do that. What you should say is, well, I'm actually calling people tonight to book my calendar, to book my party calendar for the month, and I'd hate to give away a good date that you want. So let's just pick a date that works for you and me, and whoever can come, then great, then we've got it. And take it from there. You can always do another party later for the people who couldn't make it to the first one if that's the case, but you want to make sure you've got it on the books. And then if they say no, or if they're negative, then just thank them and thank them for taking the time to consider it with you, and move on. Call your next person, and don't take it personally. I think this is a really tangible thing that you guys can do and start today or tomorrow. Get prepared and then start tomorrow, and really treat it like a business. Set that time aside. Talk to your spouse to have them take care of your kids if that's an issue, or go in your car if you need to go in your car and make the calls. Have it somewhere that you can be private and you will not have distractions. You'll have your calendar and you can just go to work. It's not a really huge time commitment, but I think this can be really fruitful for a lot of you guys. So I hope this is helpful to you. Have a great night.